So this is my '01 Sportster with, as you can see, a unique set of luggage systems. We've got a set of Nelson Rigg Hurricane saddlebags on it and a Klein Tools half-width mod box. This is a one-off luggage system that I built for it. So I'll give you a quick walk around of it and then we will jump into the build process. So dual Hurricanes on it, with, like I said, the Klein mod box, quick release plate. So let's jump into the build section. What we have got here is a custom built rack that I had combination. I come up with the design and had a good friend of mine did the welding on it for me. So it is 6061 3/4 inch Schedule 80 aluminum pipe with a 3/4 inch solid round down here, because what we have got on this '01 Sportster 883 is a set of Nelson Rigg Hurricane saddlebags on a set of Tusk QD plates. Now, truth be told, I did not realize Nelson Rigg offered a QD plate until after I'd already bought these these Tusk plates and started modifying them to fit. Had I known Nelson offered a set, I would have probably gone with those, because their universal bar setup would have worked a whole lot easier on this rack. But needless to say, these work good. The Tusk plates, I do like the footprint of them, and I don't have an issue with them. You do have to do a little bit of modification to run the Nelson bags on them. I had to put this top oval in here, because the Tusk bags do not have that. So not a big deal. I just took and drilled a couple holes in there, took a small metal Sawzall blade, cut it, filed it, opened it up to fit it in there. Now what you can see is I have got the straps for the Nelson. They are run through. They are run around the plates and looped through twice and drawn tight. That's really helped keep it secure to the bag, or the bag to the plate, I mean. Your main strap as well, underneath the bag, loop through, run back up through there, and looped around the top. I did take on this Tusk plate and I broke the edges on them, smoothed all of them out, and then wrapped them with Gorilla Tape just for more anti-chafe protection. Cut holes in the backer plate here so that the quick release buckles for the roll straps on the Nelson bag, so that they would easily fit through this opening. Matches up perfect. You can easily get your fingers through here. Same there. But they went on there good. Now, as far as the rack itself goes, this is all load bearing on the frame. So this is 3/4 inch bar stock. This is 1/4x2 plate. We set the bar stock on here, brought the 1/4x2 up to where we wanted it, tacked it, and welded it, and then did the uprights. So we actually framed everything up before drilling the holes. So all of the weight is on the frame. These are 5/16 18 bolts. They're just in the factory fender brackets that your saddlebag brackets or backrest brackets would bolt to. They're just there to keep the rack in place. Now, I do not plan to load this very heavy. I have not weighed this. I'll have to do the calculations because I'm not taking it back off to weigh it now. But I'm guessing that this rack all of this material was about I'll have to check and see. I'll roll in and edit here. But I believe it was around a ½ pound per foot. And there's about 12 foot of material here, 10 to 12 foot. So this rack weighs about 5 to 6 pounds. Then you get your Tusk bags and my Klein top box. But I just wanted something different. I did this because the factory bags the bags that were on it, these bags that were on it, they were just throw over bags, and they worked great. You know, I went to Georgia twice with them. I did several road trips with them, but they just would not stay in place. They just laid over the fender and the seat kind of held them in place. There was a set of loop bars there that you kind of tied them to. But no matter what, they always drifted to the back and wrapped around the back. They wouldn't touch the tire or anything. They wouldn't even come close to touching anything. I just didn't like the looks of them. And while they looked okay on there, I mean, they had that traditional Harley look, classic cruiser. For the footprint of them, that curved shape, you just lost a lot of storage space. You know, these Hurricane bags are pretty well overall the same footprint, but being squared off, you get significantly more room. They are deeper. You can see that. They are noticeably deeper, so they do hang out wider from the bike, but they don't really look bad on there. But we've got your gussets here. Tabs on here. I was going to do a spring latch like what the Tusk pannier racks went. That's what I was modeling after. But the latches I ordered were just the springs were too stiff. They weren't going to work out. And then once I saw how much room there is behind here, I just went with some quick pins. I'll show that. Forgot to put a stop pin on here though to center them and keep them from shifting. So I'm not going to lie. I just cheat it because I didn't want to pull everything back off. Stainless steel hose clamp works perfectly fine. You only got to keep it shifting from one way. We'll go ahead and throw a bag on here. Now I set these up typically in the Nelson advertisement. You see them with the bottle holders to the back. So I'm just using a 3/8 wire lock clip. This side turned out a little bit tighter to snap on than the other side did, but nothing bad. So just slide the wire lock clip in there, and we're tight. I put the bottle pack up front though, because I just wanted easier access while I was sitting on the bike to be able to reach down and grab a bottle. I'm going to keep water in there, not fuel or anything like that. But the bags are nice on there. And then even with the top board on, which I've got it sitting over there, it's drying. I just touched up some paint on it. It's super easy to just reach your hand in here, pull that pin out. Now these here are the straps that you would normally cross over if you were using a universal mount and you would hook the bags together. I did not do that. I just looped them back on themselves, taped up the slack for a handle. And then once you pull your pin, just pop it off and away you go. I like that a lot with camping with this bike and road tripping. Super easy now. I can pack everything in here. You know, those bags, realistically, all I could keep in them was my rain gear and like my visor and stuff. Couldn't really keep a whole lot of other stuff in there. I don't need that. That's going to be in my way right at the moment. Basic stuff that I didn't need in and out of a lot because they're very inconvenient with the harnessing system. I know these look like with the 3 straps they're a pain, but these are even worse because if you did not have, I mean, there's your adjustment. So it was either super tight or super loose. You can never really get them fine-tuned. I mean, these have been on the bike since my dad bought the bike new in 03. So 22 years of heavy use pretty often. More than got their money's worth out of them. I can't complain about them at all. Functionality, they have more than served me well. But I was just ready for something new. So that's kind of the overview of exactly how this is on here. These are for 3/4 inch. I think they're rigid pipe clamps. Oh, sorry guys, my allergies are killing me. Yeah, they are for 3/4 inch rigid conduit. I've got stainless hardware to go on there. Now for my top box, I'll show that here in a second once I get my board back on there. So for top board for now, I've just gone with this piece of plywood that I had laying around from another project that I took apart. It's not the fanciest looking thing. I'll probably eventually trade it out, but to be completely honest, I want to kind of use the bike some and get an idea of how I like the setup before I really make a final decision. I mean, as you can see, this is a very easy setup to take apart. It's just some stainless steel number 1032s and these clamps, if I can get that lined up there. There we go. Nope. Come on. There we go. So it's just 1032s right there. Nothing spectacular. Super easy to get this on and off. So if I do want to change it at some point, it's easy to do. But I run around with, if y'all haven't seen it, I had the wooden platform on here for a while that I built. And it worked pretty well. And I kind of got an idea of what I wanted before I did this setup. Oh, come on. Let's see. I ran this wooden platform, which I got a video on it, for a while. And I like the general setup, but I wanted something different. So that's what we've got. But I think I'm going to take these belts off eventually and put on this rack on the top. But I'm going to go ahead and get this bolted on here and then come back and show y'all the process, or the next step of it. So while I'm doing this, you might be asking yourself, why is this guy deciding to put all of this into an 883 Sport? why didn't he just get a bigger bike in the first place? Well, that comes down to I like to be different, and I like to use what I have. This was my dad's bike. He bought it new in 01, 03, 01. I never can remember. It's an 01 and 03. I never can remember. Same generation, so it doesn't really matter. But he bought it brand new, and I started riding it when I was 16, my first bike, and it does everything I needed to do realistically. You know, the biggest bulk of what I do is daily commuting on it. I've got a 13-mile drive to work, 13 to 20 depending on where I'm coming from. Not a big deal. It knocks down 52 miles a gallon or so. Even when I'm loaded for camping and riding hard, I'm still getting 49 to 50. And you know, I could go to a Dyna, I could go to a bigger bike, 6 speed, I could go to an adventure bike, and I'd love to get a 800D V-Strom, but this bike's paid for, and that to me is more important than just having a nicer bike. I like the comfort on this. I can stretch my legs completely out. I've got the 4 controls on it, so I can stretch my legs out comfortably. I can still get up on it and ride it kind of sporty. It's not a sport bike by any means. It doesn't handle like one. It doesn't have all the power in the world. But even coming over Blood Mountain in Georgia, when Harrison and I ride down there for Georgia Bushcraft, yeah, it bogs down some. I've got to downshift to third, sometimes second, to really pull out of some of those sharp, steep curves. But for 99% of my riding, it does me fine. I would like to have a little bit more cruising ability, but for open roads, for interstates, I'd like to be able to cruise a little bit more comfortably at 70, 80 mile an hour. 65 is about where she cruises comfortably. You can get on up to 70, 73 or so. Anything above 75, and the poor thing just sounds like you were absolutely going to wring its guts out and it blow up. But it does everything I need it to do on a day-to-day basis for 99% of my riding, and it's paid for. And I just enjoy it. Like I said, I enjoy being different. I like watching people's reactions when you tell them to ride a Sportster on road trips. And I think this is cool. I think what I've got here with this luggage system is unique. It's different. And I'm all about that. I'm all about making do with what I got and thinking outside of the box and not always going with plug-and-play solutions. Now, I had some issues getting this squared away up front as far as getting it done and getting some people to understand what it was I was wanting to do. And at that point, I was kind of wishing there was plug and play, but I didn't really like any of the options. I didn't really like the hard bags that were available for it. I wanted something that was still quick detach. So I got this, and now I've got a nice, small, streamlined setup. If I want to just pull my bags off in my top box, I can do that easily. And I've got a small, nimble bike. If I want just my top box, I can ride with it. If I want just my saddlebags, I can do that. If I want all of them, I can do that. So I just like the versatility. I'm all about function over form, but I think in this case, I think the form turned out all right. I'm sure everybody will have their opinions on that, but basically, I just like I like the bike. I'm not getting rid of it. It's not going anywhere, being that it's a kind of a family bike. So I said, you know what? Let's just let's work with what I got. Let's make it unique. Let's make it my own. Let's make it practical and enjoy it. Now I still have the lights to put on the back of this. I'm going to redo the lighting setup and put LED bars, turn signals, and stop turn tails on the back to improve the rear lighting. That was another reason why I was doing this. I just don't like the factory lighting. I don't like the factory tail lights and brake lights. I don't feel like they're visible enough, so I'm going to fix that in due time. I just got to get the lights ordered and figure out exactly what I want. So it's kind of the behind the why I elected to do this. And my thought was too, you know, I weighed the price of everything and thought about it all, and you know, V-Strom's about 9 to 11,000 depending on where you find one. And I still had to buy bags for it. I still had to buy all the stuff that I bought for this one or done to this one. So I was like, you know, we're just going to go with it. I want it to be unique. So that's how we ended up with a Sportster that's got adventure type dual sport saddlebags on it and a custom built aluminum rack. Pretty soon, some new rear lights. Plan to upgrade the front lights as well. Alright, so now that we've got the top plate mounted on here, she's good and tight, I'll go ahead and set. So the box. So now, this plate is thin. It's 16 gauge. These are 1/4-inch openings. I don't know how well any of this is showing up. These are 1/4-inch openings in here. So there was a little bit of slop. So I took some foam board I had and mounted on there to take up the slop. It worked extremely well. Set that on. Oh, helps if you put it on the right way. And there we go. So now we're on there. Good and tight. Does have a little bit of play in it. I'm going to do something to fix that. But I like that overall. So there we go. Now inside of here is what's rattling around are the dividers. Now the nice thing about these, they're modular. So you can make multiple different compartments out of them. You can stack them. There's a tray insert that goes in here. It's in one of the saddlebags. But I can fit my Anchor power bank and my whole Anchor power station in here, which is nice. So my plans, or how I plan on using this, is my weight, my heavier weight items, my battery bank, my cook kit, that kind of stuff, the hard stuff, is going to go in this top box. It's going to go up here. And then, because truthfully, most of that stuff is what I use most. My hand sanitizer, my cleaning wipes, battery bank, battery power station, cooking stuff, that kind of stuff is what I use most. So this is going to be my general box. I want all the heavier stuff up here. I want it centered. A lot of people are worried about it top heavy. Guys, this bike sits low. It's got a 2-inch set of lowering shocks on it. Dad put progressive shocks. They sit 2 inches lower. Even with me on the bike, I don't know how well this is going to show up. Look at this stuff. It's still down low, and it's lower than what a second passenger would be. So I'm not worried about the weight on it being up high. I would rather have the weight there than in my bags. My bags is where my tent's going to go, my clothes, my soft, light, good items are going to go there. Plus, I have laid it over in the gravel. You know, I will be honest. There's been a few times I've pulled up to, the main time I did it, I pulled up to a gas pump and real big, deep pit of loose gravel right in front of the pump, slowed up, and when I slowed up, my front tire hit that big loose gravel right against the curb, and she just slid and laid over. So with these bags, that's why I wanted soft bags, so that they'll give. If I put the soft stuff in there, it'll be fine. I laid it over once going to a covered bridge. It made a switchback hard 90 downhill off the road. You had to come off the road, switch back over. I just eased over, and as I eased over, it hit the gravel and just kind of slid. No big deal, you know. I mean, it is what it is. It happens when you take a bike like this, places that theoretically aren't supposed to go. So soft bags and soft goods. That way when I lay it over, I don't risk turning anything up. Plus this box I can just pop off. But I kind of want the weight center. So the hard stuff's going to go in here. Soft light stuff's going to go in the side bags. So I'm going to go ahead and put the side bags back on it. Still got to mount these hooks. Those were on my other ones. I'm going to mount them here and here, I think. I don't know yet which way I'm going to turn them. If I'm going to put them like this or if I'm going to angle them. I had them angled on the other board. I may angle them on here as well. Kind of like them angled a little bit more, and then I angle those up front. And I mean, I can't put a whole lot of stuff on here that didn't turn out as wide as I had planned because I had to set this back an inch from what normal so that I could clear my crossbars underneath. But it'll work out fine. It'll still give me enough room that I can, you know, toss a bedroll on there, toss a jacket, whatever. If I want to take that off and put something else on there, you know, you just got a big flat cargo area. But there we go, guys. That kind of wraps that up. I'll throw the bags and stuff back on there and get some pictures of it outside. I don't know yet if I'm going to round these corners. Again, I haven't decided exactly what I want to do on the top, what's going to be left of it. But there we go, guys. That is an 883 Evo set up for touring.